These people are playing, using their imaginations, creating fantasies, but most importantly, being part of a community. That's one of the best things play can do for us. It helps us belong. In this hour, we'll look at how that happens and why it matters so much for us and for every other social species on the planet. Play doesn't get much bigger than this. 60 different parades, hundreds of balls, dances, and parties, both organized and spontaneous. A festival that lasts for months instead of days. This is the oldest, longest, most complicated, and most famous celebration in America. Mardi Gras in New Orleans. The oldest traditions of play are on display here. Masks, costumes, disguises. It's celebration as excess. The community giving itself permission to be outrageous, to mock, to be silly, to take on new identities, to be famous or anonymous. As they say, you can eat, drink, and be merry, if merry is who you really want to be. Or you can be anyone else you care to be, including yourself. Mardi Gras caters unashamedly to the senses. Its origins are in Roman Catholicism, an indulgent community celebration just before the self-denial of Lent. But the roots of Mardi Gras can be traced back to ancient pagan festivals.
What all festivals have in common is you go to extreme lengths with things you do, with your body, with your representations and masks. Well, they're almost like a defiance of mortality.
And I think it's almost like a psychological safety valve for the community to blow off steam. I can't imagine life in this city without it. Well, since 1857, there have been 13 years that we didn't have Mardi Gras, little interruptions like world wars and yellow fever epidemics, but basically the show goes on. 1979, the police went on strike in New Orleans, so the parades were canceled in New Orleans proper, but people still celebrated in the streets. So you cannot kill the spirit of Mardi Gras.
For many people in New Orleans, the 12 days of Mardi Gras parades are preceded by 353 days of preparation. Blaine Kern's family has been in New Orleans for 9 generations, and his entire working life has revolved around Mardi Gras. Today, his company makes floats for over 40 Mardi Gras crews, the clubs that are the basic organizational unit of Mardi Gras.
Mardi Gras, to me, it's my whole life. It is. It's my love, my passion. I walk through the dens here and I see things being created and I get excited. It's not just a day here. It's not just a season. I want to emphasize that. It's a tradition that goes on for hundreds of years.
Since 1958, Blaine Kern has been the captain of the Crew of Allah, based in his neighborhood on the west bank of the Mississippi.
We've got certain families that have been in Allah for generations, and it's passed on from father to son to grandson. And it means a lot because these friendships, these are lifelong friendships and associations that people never let go of.
Of the 500,000 people who live in New Orleans proper, almost 2/3 are African American. In their communities, Mardi Gras is also the most important time of the year. They too prepare for the festival all year long, but they don't see any reason to wait all year for the party to start. For months before Mardi Gras begins, impromptu weekend celebrations called second line parades pulse through the city's African American neighborhoods. When the real festival finally arrives, the second liners will form the retinues for some of Mardi Gras' most spectacular participants, the legendary Mardi Gras Indians.
For years, Mardi Gras Indian was a mystery. People wonder why they dress as Indian, call themselves Indian. but it go back to slavery days.
Many believe the Mardi Gras Indian tradition started during slavery as a way to get around laws that prohibited blacks from wearing masks. Native Americans had often helped runaway slaves, hiding them in swamps. To acknowledge this bond, African Americans chose to dress up as Indians. Howard Miller is a Mardi Gras Indian. He's chief of the Creole Wild West tribe, which has been masking, as it's called, since the late 1800s.
They the first recognized tribe in the city. One way or another, all tribes come from the Creole Wild West, either indirectly or directly.
Howard has lived in New Orleans his whole life. He knew he wanted to mask as an Indian from the very first time he saw them parade.
It looked like so much fun. Right then and there, I can feel chills and stuff going through me, seeing them come down at me. And I knew it was something special about it. And I wanted to be a part of that.
Being a part of this is a major commitment. There are practices every Sunday from Thanksgiving on. Like the second line parades, these practices are an important part of the community's preparation for Mardi Gras. But they also provide a wonderful opportunity to play.
Yes, he'll be calling them. Come on, softly calling them. Indians of a nation.
Larry Bannock is chief of another tribe, the Golden Star Hunters.
I've been doing this for 28 years. It's a love that you can't describe in words.
It's a love that involves painstaking sewing and handwork for months on end, inevitably culminating in frantic, round-the-clock group sessions as the festival draws near.
To be a Mardi Gras Indian, you have to love it, and you have to really be devoted to it, because you have to constantly be thinking 365 days a year what you're gonna do, how you're gonna do it. But the love of it keeps you going. It's like a passion.
This passion builds until Fat Tuesday, Mardi Gras, the last day of the festival. Throughout the city, families begin gathering early in the morning, staking out their spot to watch a series of parades that will take over the city. Finally, on this day, the Mardi Gras Indians will let their communities see what all the hard work has been about.
I'm always part of the tribe. I am always chief. You know, it's like this is my second family.
Big old gang, and they was mighty, mighty pretty.
Man, it's an unbelievable feeling. It's a feeling of joy. It's like a high, like, you know, it's so high up there, you know, the joy and the spirit just come within you that starts to release that I am a chief of a tribe. You know, it's a beautiful thing.
As your people dress you, it's like a warrior being dressed for battle. Everybody sits there and dress you. Somebody straightening this and somebody, I mean, it's like you got, I don't know, all these people, everybody doing something. But when you finish dress, it's like you a gladiator or whatever, a warrior going off. When you stand proud for that moment, it's your world. Nobody can take it from you. Nobody. The tribe means everything to me.
This is not official Mardi Gras.
Let's go get 'em. Let's go get 'em. Let's go get 'em.
The tribes don't have permits. They don't even have predetermined routes. Nevertheless, this is pure Mardi Gras and pure play. Play for the sheer, unadulterated fun of it. Play is a way to harness and express some of our deepest emotions. And play in the sense of making community, of belonging.
We believe it's a very important part of evolution, this kind of play, because the people who work together to make the presentations, they sort of identify themselves with this thing, they present it to everybody else, and they have this togetherness as a part of their life forever.
The power of Mardi Gras, whether it's a lifetime passion or a one-time occurrence, is the same power that has drawn human beings to festivals from the beginning of our history. The power of being connected to each other. The power to heal the wounds of everyday life. The power that comes from sharing our emotions, our passions, our lives.
Mardi Gras is over. Please clear the street. Mardi Gras is officially over.
It's over until preparations start for next year. The importance of play and the connections it provides are not restricted to human beings. In fact, all social creatures play. And it's just as important for them as it is for us. Few creatures are more social than wolves. Their packs are complex, highly organized structures. Play is central to their lives, for communication, for learning and development, for establishing social order, and ultimately for survival. In the wilds of New Mexico, a research facility called Raised by Wolves is dedicated to the study of wolf behavior. Its director is Dr. C.J. Rogers, a psychologist. In her study of wolves and wolf hybrids, Dr. Rogers has focused on how their social relationships develop, how they play, and how the two are connected.
Wolves are very intelligent, they're very social, they have a very good sense of humor. They seem to enjoy discovering what will make human beings laugh. Wolves really like ritual. They need a balance of ritual and spontaneity.
Raised by Wolves is now home to 20 wolves and wolf hybrids. All are wild animals. From the litter of 8 born here in 1996, to other wolves CJ has rescued from sorry circumstances. The wolves have shown her that, like humans, when animals are under stress, play stops.
And there's an enormous difference between the youngsters that were born here, were raised by their biological mother and father in a safe, healthy environment, natural environment, and the wolves that have come to us as rescues who have been abused and neglected, and it's very similar to what you see in human beings.